Oh, wait. The audio needs to be connected. Alright. Talk for a sec.
Test.
Alright, yeah. Alright, the Discord audio is working there. Give it a little bit for everyone to get here.
Any other guests you talked to or tried to get on?
I did talk to Dags about it.
Any word back from him, or
Well, he joined the server, so there's that.
better than nothing?
Yep. Is this on? Oh. Alright. Alright.
I don't know
Alright.
if you're talking right
Oh,
now, but
yeah,
I can't hear you.
I wasn't talking.
Just preparing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just setting up, getting the table laid, then I'll be ready to chat once you are.
Alright. Is this working? Yeah, it should be. Mhm. All right, give it a few minutes.
Yep, no worries. I'm
All
more
right,
than okay waiting.
I just give it a few minutes here. All right. Did you have any topics or ideas to start with, or
I mean, what did you see on the John Oliver show recently?
oh,
Oh, look, young guys in the
uh,
chat.
oh,
We could start off with either recently the war in Iran. I know that annoys me since my gas, I'm not happy with paying gas
oh,
prices right now. And I've been trying to limit how much I'm driving. I could discuss what I've been reading on that. Perhaps my talks with Cowboy about employment and technology. I've also had thoughts from T-Fizz and Monkey when they talked about white collar jobs. I could explore that. I have plenty to talk about.
uh,
Depends where you want to go.
um, I saw it was about gerrymandering.
Which state? That's like I believe California with Prop 70 something, and then Virginia with their new governor both tried to gerrymander to help the Democrats secure at least the House for the midterms, which yeah, it's not a tactic I like or that should be around, but at this point if it gives less power to the Republicans, I could care less how the districts are drawn up. They could be drawn up as a penis for all I care, as long as the Republicans don't get power to continue funding this war that we're going to have to pay, or me since I'm a wagey. I don't know if you're neat, but
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to have I'm a my taxes are going to go up because of this war, and I'm not going to be happy. So I don't care. Make a penis, make a Pepe, make whatever district map you want in Virginia and California. Just don't let the Republicans win the House. That's all. That's all I could ask for. And I think anyone reasonable could ask for, unless they think that the Republicans are going to save them, because Republicans talk about trans people and IUC, though there's not that much deportations, but that's their business if they're morons.
Yeah. I I honestly think at this point we should just give the maps to like pick a country, let's say Japan, France, Britain, Sweden, I don't care where, and let them draw the maps because this isn't getting any better.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they would probably defer to us since this whole arrangement, which is going to fall apart after the war in Iran, was essentially the NATO, the EU, and the main Asian countries that border China deferring everything to the United States. But we have the Trump and his admin has shown that they can't rely on the United States, which is why Germany and Japan are both planning to have become military superpowers again within the 2030s. So that's going to be interesting to see the new multipolar world where India's the economic hub, Japan and Germany, and possibly
Poland.
Ukraine
I think
are
Poland were
military
as well.
powers. Poland, I'll see about that. I don't know much about what's going on in Poland right now outside of their anti-immigration, which the chuds in the US would love, but is Poland gearing up military-wise? It wouldn't surprise me since they're dealing with BS from Belarus, I believe, and Russia's are is going to be on their front door, or I believe to their east. So
I know
there's
Poland is
that.
also supplying Ukraine with weapons and munition, with weapons, tanks, everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're gearing up, getting new gear, giving Ukraine the older ones, and going for a more modern type army or modern tanks.
Oh yeah, you would be stupid to not prepare for modern warfare. For example, look at Russia at the start of the Ukraine war, where they thought they could just throw bodies like it's a Call of Duty lobby or Age of Empires and just throw bodies into the line of a bunch of drones, and it, Russia on paper s- cleared should have beat Ukraine within months, but it's clear that modern warfare isn't the way that Russia prepared for, and we're going to see manufacturing and AI technology is going to be of in big uh, important factor to every country in the coming years. Bit awkward, but we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Two viewers, young guy in the chat.
Wow. Wow. This is underwhelming.
I mean, to be fair, you kind of didn't make an announcement, but it's
S
okay. We'll see who pops up, and if not, it could just
yeah.
be us chatting for a bit. It could be practice so you can improve
Yeah.
as a streamer, since it's hard to be entertaining without practice. I'll try to help you avoid dead air time and keep the conversation running a bit. I don't know if you want this to be geopolitical. It'll probably be
Um.
better Mercer was around since he's more well versed in geopolitics than me, but I mean, kind of going off about how many countries are preparing for this next stage of the world where it's multipolar. The United States and Saudi Arabia announced. I don't. Let me get the phrasing right. Works for a nuclear deal. I don't believe that it's ratified yet. I know it has to go through Congress, but the United States is going to help Saudi Arabia develop a nuclear quote unquote energy program. But when you have a nuclear energy program and you have missiles, you essentially have a nuclear weapons program. The difference between them is essentially wording. So, in the coming years, there's a good chance that Saudi Arabia is going to be a latent nuclear power, which just means you could build a nuke in a couple weeks. For example, Japan doesn't have nuclear weapons, but they're known as a nuclear hedge or nuclear threshold state where they have the enriched uranium where they could easily encapsulate that within a missile, and they have the tactical airplanes, and then they boom could nuke China in self-defense or whatever. So Saudi Arabia is most likely going to be a state like that where they could have a nuke within weeks just to act as a counterbalance to Iran if the United States isn't able to properly denuclearize Iran, which is never going to
Yeah.
happen.
Never happening. I feel like at this point, though, like as far as all wars are concerned, anyone who pulls out a nuke is going to be fucked. Like this, it's not going over well. At least with
Yeah.
the high yields that there are now, it would be extreme, um, extreme as a world event. Like nuclear isn't just a bomb; it's the fallout, everything. At this, I just think at this point we should just get rid of nukes altogether.
Yeah, sadly that would never happen, but I don't think a nuke would be used in our lifetime. Perhaps a smaller tactical nuke, that's another discussion, but we won't see Hiroshima within our lifetime or but the reason why countries, not companies, are in a race to nuclearize is just because since the United States is slowly shifting away from no longer being the center of the world when it comes to power, if you could have a nuclear capabilities, you're going to be a new regional power. and it's also a counterbalance. For example, Israel was getting attacked from Jordan, Egypt, during the 1900s, and essentially all their neighbors. And they decided with the help of South Africa, built a nuclear weapons program. And then all of a sudden, Egypt, Jordan, and so on are happy to be not allies, but peaceful neighbors with Israel. And Iran wants to do something similar because they know that Israel, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, all of these powers within the region wants Iran to be balkanized and wants the regime to be destroyed. So having that nuke is a security for a regime. For example, look at North Korea. The United States was antagonizing North Korea, and it seemed like the Obama admin was gearing up to do what Trump did in Venezuela. They were placing ships in the Pacific Ocean, gearing supplying more and more weapons to South Korea, and it was clear that the United States wanted to do something to Kim Jong Un and his team. But the moment North Korea did their first nuclear test, the United States was forced to get on the table and negotiate with North Korea, and same with South Korea had to negotiate with North Korea. So that's what Iran is working towards too. If they could have a nuclear test, Israel, Qatar, the Emirates, they all have to be willing to get on the table and listen to Iran. Iran does have power with the Strait and their proxy network within the Red Sea, but it's still nothing beats having a nuke. The moment you have a nuke, people have to play nice with you and deal with your existence. That was long winded, but wanted to be thorough.
I knew a while back, I think it was like a year ago. I watched is either I don't think it's CNN. There's this YouTuber Ryan Macbeth. He does um more uh tactical strategic war videos and geopolitics, and I remember him saying that um them doing Russia doing a tactical nuke on Ukraine was a possibility, but he didn't think it happened just because of the global reaction to it. And
Yeah.
luckily, Putin hasn't been that stupid so far. How
Yeah, I
about
believe there was. Oh,
oh, you go?
sorry.
You go
Are
ahead.
you going to?
You go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that was caused by Ukraine doing an escalation where they destroyed tactical aircrafts. Now, whenever you hear the word tactical, that essentially means it's nuclear or something to use to send or drop nukes, such as tactical submarines, tactical aircrafts, and so on. So, um, and within the nuclear proliferation deal, I can't pronounce that right now, but the deal that Russia made with the US, both the US and Russia have to have their tactical airplanes or aircrafts that could drop a nuke publicly. So if you see on satellite imagery that the United States or Russia, they moved their tactical aircrafts, then that's a strong sign that they're moving their nukes somewhere or they might be using it. So since the tactical new aircraft locations are public, Ukraine escalated the conflict by attacking it, which made the Russia sympathizers say that a new tactical nuke is warranted against Ukraine for doing such an action. So that was the full story from about a year ago when it came to that, I believe.
Well, if that counts as a tactical nuke being an option, Russia I'm not saying this because I don't think using nukes is a good idea almost ever. But by that logic, Russia, Ukraine, or someone doing a tactical nuke against Russia because of them bombing Chernobyl or trying not to, but it still flies over some of it has hit Chernobyl. Um, then that's warranted against Russia too if we're going there. So just a little like counter to the people that say that.
Yeah, good counter. Oh, Wolf's asking you a
Oh,
question.
uh, we'd probably be streaming for maybe half an hour ish. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe he might want to hop on.
yeah,
It won't be a marathon. I could tell you that,
yeah,
Wolf. It won't be. It won't be one of your streams. We're not the Bash cast. We're not here to rival you and have very long streams. Or I mean, Brent. I can't
yeah.
speak for him, but
I not really. I've invited Dags as well.
nice. You'll be streaming tonight. I might hop on as a guest. I'll see.
Is it Friday already? It's
No,
Thursday.
it's Thursday.
I was about to say I'm not rating today. I don't think that's yeah. Um,
I mean, I guess to prevent. Oh, are you going to invite
oh,
Wolf?
yeah.
Oh no,
As you were saying,
I guess to prevent dead air time, I suppose I could talk about something that I
uh,
just thought about after my interactions with the one and only cowboy.
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess this would be more of a monologue or me looking for validation from you and anyone else in the chat. I noticed cowboy. Oh wait, I tried. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat, but
Uh,
I oh, okay, let me get refocused. Cowboy was telling me about, computer science is useless, yada yada yada. You could get laid off at any moment. But then he antagonized Jackknife for being, quote unquote, soft, a weak man, not raised properly to be tough and strong by his father. It brings up many contradictions in my mind because of this. If he believes something is challenging, shouldn't he encourage a quote unquote real man to pursue it instead of giving up and going to what is perceived as easier, the trades or nursing or so
yeah,
on to get employment? So it's one of the many contradictions that whenever someone brings up, oh, real man, blah, 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 they would see someone else trying to work through adversity, some sort of adversarial conditions, and then say, oh, you shouldn't do that because it's hard. But then when someone's being a neat, they're like, oh, authoritarian, you're a loser. You have soft hands. You're not doing hard things in life. It's a contradiction that he probably doesn't even notice, and if I bring it up to him, he would probably cope. I'll have to talk with him about it another time, but it's something I thought of, and I suppose a check to his typical talking points about being a real man and so on.
I think it doesn't necessarily matter if you have a job or working to an extent, as long as like you're trying to do something productive with your time, like trying to learn coding. I've learned to draw along with most of my time going towards EverQuest usually. But I've taken time out of the day to make sure I try and learn a new skill.
Yeah, I guess I would be similar to that camp. Of course, jobs exist for a reason, but they exist because it's work that someone else doesn't want to do. The nature of a job is that it's something someone else doesn't want to do. So it's not going to be fun or the greatest use of the time of most people. So it's good if you work a job and have income to support yourself, but saying that's the only way to live life is probably incorrect. And someone else brought this up, but if having a job is the end all be all, why has he been unemployed for about 9 months? It seems like he doesn't enjoy working either, if that's the case. And he doesn't seem in any rush to get any gainful employment. So this talk about being a real man and working a sucky job is just bogus because he doesn't practice what he preaches, and he people don't realize that other people have goals that aren't the exact same as them. Not everyone wants to start a peptide business or have enough to pay for hookers, and n- some people are content with where they're at and just want to explore what interests them, whether it's reading history, learning different things, or playing video games.
I personally, I do have a plan for a job. I'm in no rush either. Like, I'd give it maybe 2 years before I actually start trying to do anything besides trying to get one job. Um, the reason I've been learning coding and drawing and stuff is because I'm hoping that I can get hired by Daybreak. I saw the when they were hiring and they were advertising on EverQuest too. I checked and they want someone with like 10, 20 years of experience, and being realistic, that's not really going to happen much anymore. Like, you don't give anyone a chance, you're not getting anyone to to you're not going to hire anyone because you're trying to look for the very specific. And I'm hoping that being able to get in contact with some of the GMs during beta, that I can get them to make an exception and hire me. Because
Yeah, so
you go ahead.
oh, go on. Yeah, so I have a friend who's actually trying to get into the gaming industry, and he did do an internship in Germany. He's American, by the
Ah,
way, but I could talk a bit about the gaming industry, and I could talk about hiring in general and how that works, or how it's presented and how it works behind the scenes, since a lot of those times those requirements are impossible to meet. You're not going to find someone with 15 years of experience who's going to go to your company. If someone has 15 years of experience, they're most likely at Google or Amazon or in a very high paid and secure, comfy job, and they're not going to leave their job and gamble and leave for another company. So a lot of the time, that's just to make the requirements so hard that no one could get it, except for internal or referred candidates. So a lot of job searches are to meet federal requirements, where if you're going to hire someone, you at least need to interview different people. It doesn't matter if, let's say, the manager's nephew has already been selected. The legal requirements, they have to interview 4 different people for that job. Or let's just say there's an internal candidate that they're going to hire, they still have to interview 4 different people and make a public job posting. So this form of nepotism is very common, where they'll waste someone's time, interview people, and then the internal or referred candidate is selected. It's something I've gone through where I I applied for a job, I get an I interview the day of right away. It's like, hey, can you interview tomorrow? I'm like, yes, right away, 9 a.m. tomorrow, I'll see you there. Then 2 hours later, I got an email told that they selected a candidate further along in the interview process than me. I'm like, wait a second, you posted this job last week. This this Monday you reached out to me to interview you the very next day on Tuesday. I do the very first interview out of 5 interviews, and how is someone already at the fifth interview of the stage? It's because they were already selected. So I would, this is unsolicited advice for me, just based off what I saw. When it comes to getting a job in the gaming industry, it seems like the new meta or practice would be to work on your own indie project and hope that gains traction than a bigger company a studio hires you or picks you up, whether you're working on mods or small games or doing game jams, and you meet someone, then a company picks you up, since it's clear that the old way of sending your resume and being hired doesn't work anymore. It's gone. That's a fantasy. Those stories of Steve Jobs getting a job at Atari just because he wanted one, no, doesn't exist. Not it's not going to happen for us.
Well, so that's how it's like with every job. You know, that's I had this happen. I applied at Safeway. I think it was like a year ago, probably just about right now. Um, and they said this. That was when I was trying to actually get a job in other places around town. I hired at a lot of places, and um, Safeway said that in the last interview I did with them, I did three of them, that they were gonna hire me, but someone from internal actually decided to switch over, and that if I applied again, they would end up hiring me. And at that point, I really didn't think that they were serious about it because I call multiple times. I call every day, every other day, and nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to. It goes back to this saying, which in this modern liberal world, you're going to be told over and over again, no one owes you anything. So, in their way, you're just a new expense. So, let's say you got hired, you're just a number on their bookkeeping records, an expense that makes profits go down for shareholders once the end of the quarter arrives. So, hiring is something that companies don't want to do. It's something that they have to do at certain parts and they hate it. So that's reality. It sucks, but that is reality, and it's dumb to think anything's in your favor in this world or to expect to be treated fairly, which is why you have to cheat the system, lie in your resume, lie about your experience, overplay it. The people getting hired, for example, an Indian from H1B India, most likely they have either a fake degree or they overplayed their experience, where in India there are consulting agencies where you pay for internship and then you could lie and say you did blah 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 blah. I created this awesome AI agent at this internship. Look how amazing I am. Then you come to the US and you get hired by Indian hiring manager. It's a common practice within tech and accounting, I believe, but you have to change your mindset to not expect fairness and to lie and over represent yourself, since they're lying to you. Everything is a lying contest where they're lying about how amazing the job is and how you be treated as family, and you're lying about how amazing you are. That's the world we live in, and if you don't play that way, you're asking to fail.
I've never lied at a job interview, actually. Do they check if anything is real on this? Like if you actually got 10 years experience or whatever?
Sometimes they might do references, but you're probably screwed. I don't think you could lie and let's say, for example, your case. You're not gonna be able to lie and say that you could get you have 15 years of experience being a game developer. That's not going to happen. What I mean is you overplay what you've done. So let's say for one time, let's say you worked fast food or retail and the manager was gone and you had responsibilities for one day. You lie about that and claim you had responsibilities for more. Or you list those responsibilities and act it like it was a daily thing so you look more mature and more experienced. Um, I could tell you how I lied on my resume and how it's helped me in the past. Let me just bring up one example. Since I'm a software engineer, the startup I'm doing did this where we used a very niche language that is not in demand, very small technology that no one cares about and no one hires for. So what I did was I just renamed it and said on my resume I used C sharp to build this system, even if I used something else. Just because C sharp is what all the job applications wants, but that's not what I did. So I would say these augmentations or omitting stuff. For example, young guy said he omitted something on his resume. I omit something too. Um, Another case where I omitted something, or where the case I omitted something was I worked as a graduate assistant and no one liked that. The interviewers are like, wait, why were you a graduate assistant and working as a software engineer at the same time? We don't like that. Someone told me straight up in an interview. So now no one ever has to know I worked two jobs at once. I'm hiding that. I only worked as a software engineering intern. I never worked at a I never worked as a graduate assistant according to my resume because all they see is that I tried to work at two different places and half-ass at both of them and get paychecks from both of them. A recruiter directly told me that and said I was a red flag because of that. A bit wordy, but that should give you some insights on how you should lie or over prepare on your resume.
Like, this is just a shock to me. Like, I knew they had to hire people, but like they had to interview multiple people so that it's not discriminatory or anything. But this is fuck. I didn't know that that was the reality of this.
Oh, it gets way worse. I could go on to the Indian hiring practices, which brought along multiple lawsuits in California, and it's layer two. I was talking about it with Jackknife. It's almost a meme where if you do an interview and the interviewer is Indian, it's over for you if you're not Indian and you're not a select caste. For example, Meta is having a Meta Facebook is having a lawsuit because they found that the people who were laid off were mainly non-Indian workers, and the people deciding the layoffs were Indians claiming to use AI to objectively fire people, the Indian middle managers. And I believe Google, Apple, and one other company was a part of a class action lawsuit where a lot of Indians from lower caste were clearly being discriminated against during interviews because the Indian hiring managers only wanted to hire upper ca- upper caste upper Brahmin Indians. So even if you're Indian, you're going to get discriminated against unless you have the right last name and right skin color, right background, you're from the right area because that's your caste. So hiring in the United States, it's a complete shit show. I believe LinkedIn has over a million ghost jobs after it's privately audited. It's just either job is a ghost job or someone was selected before it was even posted, and you're just going to get interviewed as a formality.
Wow. I remember one job interview I did technically that I sort of got from LinkedIn was one for like what's it called like house insurance or something like that, and they were just hiring a bunch of people at once. And I think last minute after like the whole interview thing, I decided I'm not gonna. Because I'll be honest, I would tell people like, this isn't a good idea for you. because blank blank blank, and or this is a good um, a choice for you because I don't believe in fucking someone over like that.
Yeah, it's just that they don't care and they don't have to care. We don't live in a merit-based society at all, and they don't have to care. So they as I said, under this system, you're not owed anything. So they would just say some lie or say, "Oh, we don't want to legally put ourselves in trouble, so we're not going to tell you why we didn't move forward with your candidacy." It's futile. It's almost parallel to what people describe when it comes to online dating. When we see in the black pill or incel spaces, people talk about how futile it is to get a relationship from Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, or so on. It's it's very similar to that in LinkedIn. I I could even remember during my first year at university, a professor had a lecture just for one day about how to get a job, and he basically said nepotism. He said all we should do is spam alumni and hope that they could get us an interview and give us a referral because he told us, mind you, this was in 2020, that applying straight up is going to be useless more times than it's useful. That the only thing you could do is hope alumni could get you a job and you don't get laid off.
Well, shit. How about your thing on Israel you meant or Iran you mentioned earlier? Israel's a whole nother story for me, and I have mixed good and bad about that, but that's gonna be for another day. I don't feel like doing that.
Yeah, I talked about it in Dagger's server. There was this very funny quote from the finance minister of Israel. They said that they have no interest of joining a contained conflict between the United States and Iran. So it's just very ironic. Everyone knows if you read the Wall Street Journal, read the New York Times, any news outlet, that Bibi Netanyahu and his government advisors lobbied the United States and Trump to enter a conflict. And then the moment it heats up and the United States is 10 toes down and commits to it, Israel just puts her hands up like, hey, we're not going to help out. This isn't our fight anymore. Despite them basically starting it and dragging the US into it, they found an out and now they're trying to secure a peace deal with Lebanon and Hezbollah. So it's funny that when we were trying to make peace, Israel did everything that they could to make it difficult by bombing Lebanon and Hezbollah. And then the moment the United States and Iran starts fighting again, Israel announces how they're trying to make great steps for peace in their conflict of Lebanon and how they don't want to join the fight with the United States.
At the beginning of the war in Israel, I thought like I was all for the war, like it's justified that someone kidnaps your citizens. It's justified you go to war to get them back. Um, it was a couple months after that I was like, at this point, it's just bombing buildings like constantly. Like they're not even really looking at this point. And it is that moment I like checked out from the whole thing. I haven't been update on that war at all. I just lost interest when I saw it was just pretty much let's just bomb the place and we'll figure this out later. Like Is it still going on, by the way?
Oh, you're referring
Yeah,
to what's going on in Palestine
yeah,
with Hamas?
yeah.
It's hard to say. Technically, a peace deal was set up and agreed upon, but it seems like every 2 weeks, um, IDF soldier kills some Palestinian for whatever reason, and the IDF is still occupying Gaza and parts of the West Bank. So it's in this very weird state where it's basically a Cold War, and I it's probably going to get hot as just a side effect of what's going on in Iran. It's probably going to escalate again, and peace is over. There's it's not like peace is something that is common in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's never common. The Middle East has just been a bucket of trouble ever since end of World War II, and a little bit during.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to read some comments and
Oh,
let me take a break from talking. My bad.
sure.
I'm not a talker. Yeah.
Um, Wolf, I would say don't buy. Just quit vaping. Honestly. Um, Not too much in the comments I'm seeing as far as like relating to the conversation. Oh, Bash. Hollow, do you want to get on or Bash? I'll send invites. Is the video showing right now?
Yeah, YouTube is showing your screen. It's showing the Discord call. I don't know if
Oh
you're
yeah, that's
trying to
it.
stream something
I
else.
don't know, just on I'm looking on my phone and it's completely black, so
Yep, no, they see our beautiful profile pictures. Oh, young guy said get Little Pond Turtle on this. I don't know him well. I was just making a joke about voice sales,
uh
so I guess maybe he's one.
um
Or vocal sale. No, vocal sell is voluntary celibate. I was just jesting around.
mm.
Yeah, if Hollow wants to get on, that would be cool. He's more talkative and he has other perspectives he could bring unless you have another topic to talk about.
No, I don't really have any topics to talk about. I
Almost at hour mark, so I would try to stretch it with conversation
um
and making you the star of this. I'll just be an interviewer. How did you get into these spaces since you're clearly an outlier at by outlier I don't mean there's anything wrong with that, but you're not like most of the people in wolfslumbers server, or you're not exactly black pilled, but
I'm
yet you found yourself in dagger server, wolf server. So
someone
how did you
oh,
find yourself in these spaces?
someone invited me and I will say like I'm don't consider myself incel black pill at all. I don't really understand most of it. Well, I understand sort of, but I just don't think that being that is worth time when it's just like brooding over stuff. It's just brooding about how your life sucks. You can't, nothing's going your way. I just try and enjoy life, honestly.
That's a fair perspective. And if I could just add on, why did you stay in Dagger server or Wolf server, and what gets you on some of the streams at times, and what do you enjoy about being on these streams?
Dagger specifically, I do enjoy his political and philosophical debates that he does, sort of. Um, and that's the reason I'm definitely still in Dag's server. I've been off and on Wolf's server a few times. Um, I'm still there now because I'm a mod, honestly, and I feel like I sort of have a responsibility to Wolf to make sure that nothing goes wrong and that there's no people trying to cause drama or start anything or doing anything illegal like IP grabs.
That's completely fair. That was an interesting day when someone used a cheap IP grabber to scare someone else. And then I suppose to you, what do you think the black pill is? At least, what is it to you?
Mm,
Um,
I don't know.
I know we've talked about it a bit, but what is it to you and what parts of it make sense to you or you would take out of it and put it into your own ideology?
Mm, don't. What it is to me is mainly just a lot of I'm gonna be honest. It just like seems like it's a lot of complaining that people do, like can't get a girlfriend, not don't hate your job, hate the world. Um, but I will say that I do take this away from it um, that they aren't wrong about how the world is sort of fucked up right now, how it feels like that a lot of big businesses and capitalism in general is working against us. And I completely get that. I just don't understand the part of why you would focus so much time and energy on stuff that are wrong with your life and that you don't like. I'm surprised the viewers did not drop after that. I will say that.
No, I think this is more engaging hearing your opinion, and I'll try to keep this more interview style for now,
Right.
just to flesh out some ideas I have and just get more out of you, because I think this part is actually pretty good. If I could say this, when you started being more active on the internet, what spaces did attract you were attracted to more? Was it more uh, for example, Reddit liberal spaces about politics or just niche gaming spaces about EverQuest? What spaces do you find yourself enjoying the most? Or perhaps you hate it so much you find yourself going to it just to engage with something you dislike or disagree with to understand it more.
Um, I was off the internet for a lot. Like, I didn't think social media and everything was worth my time. Also, the problems with it in general. Uh, when I did start getting it back into it, it was EverQuest right away. So it's always been EverQuest most of the time if I'm usually active on the internet. Ever since I was, I think it was like 5 or 6 when my dad introduced me to it, and I've been playing ever since, off and on though. There was a time for social media that I sort of did like a little rant, like a almost John Oliver style rant where I researched something and then I posted on Facebook and stuff. But that never got too much attention, and I honestly didn't. At the time, I thought it was a good idea, but looking back, I kind of regret it. Because I feel like that's not really something that should be on social media. It is, but I don't think it's worth anyone's time on social media. In spaces like this, for sure. And I think as far as communities, I've always been in a gaming community. It doesn't matter what kind, a gaming community. Although, actually, I did read something when I first signed in the computer today, and Microsoft Edge popped up because I can't figure out how to have it not pop up to that at all. Also, there's some stupid AI thing, Ace, that keeps coming up even though I'm 99% sure I installed it. But um, France, I believe, um, it wasn't allowing anyone under 15 to be in social media. That is like a huge ban, apparently. And I think that's actually a really good idea because social media in general isn't something that's healthy in any way because most people just focus on it a lot. Like doom scrolling, um, getting in fights for no reason, like politics. I've seen it a lot when I was there. Just stuff like that. I don't think that's worth the time for anyone under, personally, I'd say 18 to deal with. But 15, yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Oh,
I
okay, I think I. Oh, are you
yeah,
go on?
I wouldn't
Okay, I
consider
think.
I wouldn't consider Discord social media to an extent though. I think that's more like a personal messaging. Sure, servers can be social media, but I don't consider that like traditional social media.
Okay, I think I had a good discussion with you there where I agree and disagree with you on some things. Let's start off with what I agree with you. I do. This is something Wolf has talked about where Gen Z and Gen Alpha has been socially conditioned in a poor way due to them being exposed to technology and devices during formative years and just social media in general, growing up on it. For example, I grew up on social media. I had my first Facebook account when I was 10 years old. I grew up on that and socializing in that manner, and it probably wasn't productive for me. I do agree that if children grow up during the formative years talking face to face and engaging with different people, that would be healthier for them in the long run. Now,
Can,
here's where I disagree with
can I
you.
interject right there for a second though?
Yeah,
I
go
remember
for it.
I remember Facebook having all those games on it. I'd play like Farmville. There was Happy Aquarium, Happy Pets. There was this one game that was, I can't remember the name of it, but all I remember is the succubus picture that they had for the one of the spies units, and I loved it. Um, and like I think I played like it's like some sort of like one of those almost casual war games that like not much into it. It's not like hugely online or anything. It's just like let me see if I have anything on my phone that I can relate it to. Um, not really anything I can necessarily think of on my phone. I just can't like compare it to anything honestly. Um, but it was like something casual like that. It was Soviet one, and then I did I believe a France one, and it was during World War II for the setting of it. Um, and like that was I remember Facebook fondly from that time. Ever since they got rid of games, I haven't really looked on Facebook much at all.
That's funny. Yeah, you're taking me back. I think I used to play the Sims game. There's like a Sims Facebook. It wasn't really good, but I remember spending some time playing it. Um, Yeah, now let's fight. Let me
All
take off
right.
the gloves real quick and argue with you or push back with you on something about the ban. So, I did say it would be a good idea if people spent less time on social media. I agree with you there, or kids did. But I do argue that what was I going to argue? Oh, what France doing isn't exactly a good idea. So I don't think that France cares about the kids or are doing this in an altruistic sense to help their society. I feel that especially in the EU or even in Republican areas like Texas that are locking down on things such as pornography or teenagers being on the internet, this is a Trojan horse for policy that would regulate the internet and bring in a digital ID and have more control over us and what we see. I believe that kids is the guys, the Trojan horse, to say, oh, we're just passing this so kids don't watch porn. We're just doing this so kids don't get groomed online. I don't think they care. The Epstein files and the fact that no one has been persecuted for the Epstein files is all the proof you need that major governments do not care about protecting children. I believe that this is just a framework and a way where it's just a ladder of escalation. Step one, we ban kids or by making you show government ID. Then step two, we connect your government ID to all our social medias. Step three could be AI integration, where if we see you criticize the government, we could perceive that as a threat and arrest you. So I believe the systems that are in place with government ID checks and age verification is something that could easily escalate and snowball into a surveillance state or social credits that we see in China. So I do agree that it would be best if kids spend less time on the internet and more time exploring the world face to face and talking to each other and not talking to the fat guy in a fedora trying to groom them in the
Yeah.
Discord server by gifting them Nitro or gifting them Robux. I totally agree there, but I don't think this solution is for that, or nor is it going to prevent it. Because let's say a kid wants to get on the internet and they're it's like, "Mommy, can I use your ID?" And then boom, they use their ID to get on Discord or whatever in France or UK. It's not foolproof, and all it does is create a ladder of escalation that could lead
Mm.
to boom, dystopia, cyberpunk. They have all of our data and nothing is private. So that's my thing. I don't think these people really care about pornography or children, and they proved it with Epstein.
I don't. I will agree with you on some points there. I yeah, I don't think that we need to do a ID thing. Um, porn. No, you don't. Nobody wants to give your social your ID or anything. Like you watch porn because you don't want people to know what you're into necessarily. That's that's something that I got really pissed about too. And I remember like part of the reason it was because like I think some at least in Arizona there was some senator or politician or something that ended up didn't know that they were talking to a child for I think it's like some sexual stuff, and they said that as a response like we need to put IDs on porn sites or something. When I can see it clearly, they were doing something and they got caught. Cause you don't tell everyone that stuff. You don't like that's something you don't tell everyone. You don't say, "Oh, I'm doing this on Discord or something that has like where you could actually don't where you're not supposed to meet children. That's something where you like usually you just cut it off completely. So I I'd agree with you there on the no ID. I thought, and I didn't read into the France thing at all. I thought they were doing something like with like the port sites, what they used to do for age verification is, are you 18? And if you click yes, it exits you out. Or I cannot remember if Facebook did this. They need like a specific age to do it for Facebook. But that, I feel like you should make it a little like slightly more complicated so kids in general don't know what to do for it or like email or anything. But not to have an ID. I'm fine with you knowing my email and everything, but I don't want personal IDs for this stuff.
Yeah, so I'm looking it up just to confirm. Here's what I'm reading. So by September 1st to 2026, children younger than 15 will be barred from creating new social media accounts, and age verification becomes compulsory. I can't even pronounce it. I'm a stupid person. Uh, it'll become mandatory for new signups. And then by January of 2027, the platform has to find out who is under 15 and deactivate all of their existing accounts. So it will be done by, looks like, government ID to verify if you're over 15.
My God.
But yeah, um, I guess perhaps this is a cheap cop out from my point of view, but this will also kind of go in line with my ideologies and my what I think a good economy and good government should be. The parents should have more responsibility and more agency over their kids. And I feel that if people weren't forced to work 40 plus hours a week and be away from their kids and outsource um, caretaking to schools and social media. Thank you, Six. I saw your comment. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Basically, parents had more free time and weren't didn't need to work more. They could spend more time with their parents, more time with their kids, more time letting them engage with the world and learn about stuff. Because if you read any economic model, the average person, the wagee today, technically contributes more to the economy than the wagee 70 years ago is way more productive. So if we're more productive, why can't we spend less time at work and achieve the same sort of productivity and even more, and then just spend more time fostering and raising the next generation away from social media rather than outsourcing it? Of course, that isn't good for stockholders, and stocks don't go up. It doesn't go up to the moon, and people get rich, but it would lead to a more sustainable social environment and a better society in the long run, at least in my opinion. And that would be my cop out for my solution and cop out for handling children spending too much time online.
For, that's honestly, that's what I've been saying too a lot of the time. Kids need Parents need to watch their kids more and like be involved in their kids' lives. I say this, and I'm not a fan of my mom being that, so a little hypocritical, but that exactly is a problem. Um, Damn it, what was I thinking? Oh, it was fuck, I almost had it. Uh, Give me a sec, give me a sec. Oh,
You're good. Take a
damn it, I keep
pause.
going on and off about this. Hey, no, what were you talking about again?
uh, Kids being active in their parents' lives, and if I mean parents being
Oh,
active in their kids'
I
lives.
just remembered. It was I think it's like considered like a crime to like I can't it's like not being active in your kids' lives or not watching them necessarily when it's something like that. It's like child neglect or something like that. What is it called? Is that it?
Yeah, neglectance. That is a crime, but it's mainly for or abandonment stuff like that. But that refers to like you leave your kid in the middle of the highway, drive off, and never see them again. That's for those extreme cases. That's not for just being a parent who's too busy at work, gives her kid breakfast and dinner, expects school to give them lunch, and you just tell them good night, and that's your entire relationship with your child. That won't fall under abandonment or neglectance or any of those doctrines.
I just think like a lot of the stuff like suicide for one, like getting into trouble, doing crimes, like in general. If this wasn't the norm necessarily right now, then a lot of this could be prevented. Just simply being able to look after your kids more, it could prevent a lot of the stuff that's happened.
Oh yeah, some investment into people. This is something Cowboy gets right. Perhaps I don't agree with him on how that investment should look like, but investing into a child is it's obvious, it's important, and a lot of people don't because they're just mentally drained of themselves, or they just see their child as a mistake because the father didn't put on the condom correctly, or the mother didn't properly use her plan B when she should have, and they resent their child and just see it as a money sucking source that they could be using at the bar. So um yeah, there's also a culture where just people don't see kids as anything to invest or care about. They just see them as more expenses on their credit card statement. A lot of those people, I guess this is where the anti-natalists are correct. There's a lot of people who are parents that shouldn't be parents, and it's going to foster bad people and, lo- quite frankly, to be blunt, losers. And the black pill incel space will only grow more future crops who are perfect for a wolfslumbers Discord server. There we go. It's just the logical outcome, and there are solutions, but this goes back to incentive structure, and it's not profitable. I mean, it's not as much profitable in the long run. Rich people don't become as rich in a stable society, and that's all that matters to these different groups.
I I've also read this. It was a while ago, but like it was like Gen Z is sort of like checking out from the job thing and not really applying to jobs or anything.
Oh, men. It's mainly
Oh,
men. Yeah,
I'll
I
go
could talk a
there.
lot about that, but yeah, Gen Z, but yeah, it's very bad with men.
Well, hopefully that'll make them change their mind. Also, I mean, personally, I don't see necessarily being 40 hours a work week to be something that should happen anymore. More like, because we have AI and everything, and there's more people, and I think everyone should be allowed to get a job and it should be accessible to everyone. So you can cut, say, 40 hours to 30 hours, and you can hire a few more people, even though it's not necessarily productive for the company necessarily, because they're gonna have to pay more. But if we don't, UBI needs to be a thing, and if that's not going to be a thing, then obviously there needs to be an alternative, and shorter hours of working and more money to people who work would be another solution.
Yeah, there's many talks about how AI automation could lead to less work, and that's a selling point from OpenAI, Anthropic, Elon Musk, and all these companies that we're never going to work and we're going to be rich. But that's clearly not that's clearly not the case. We're seeing some automation, not as much as a dumbass would say, oh yeah, all the programmers are going away. I have a strong counter argument against that, but those people are probably too stupid to even understand my argument. I won't go into that right now, but we're seeing that there is more automation, but it's not helping anyone except making stocks go up and propping up a bubble. UBI, at least right now, is a pipe dream, and it's just a marketing tactic at this point because under our current system and with how fiat money works with the Federal Reserves, UBI is just not feasible without changes that people don't want to make for whatever reason. Since The rich only look out for themselves, and it's easy to convince someone to vote against their best long-term interest. Just look at all the poor conservatives who voted for Trump and now are crying that their Medicaid is being taken away after the big, beautiful bill. If I could just continue this on real quick,
Go ahead.
it's simply just not something that is planned for or is profitable. It go at the end of the day, under the system we live in, profit is above all. It's above you, it's above me, it's above God. It is the only truth that we see and that the government will chase most of the time. And a UBI system, firstly, automation isn't good enough to justify UBI, at least yet. And secondly, our current system just doesn't want UBI. Whew. Don't know if you want to take a break and look at comments or
Uh,
anything that I just or respond to what I just said.
um, I did see that um that Chris mentioned that there was a toddler a few years ago that died because the parents weren't keeping tabs on the toddler and managed to get outside and wandered into I-70s. That is just neglect to the extreme. That's something I even have a hard time believing because how do you let a toddler do that? And how the hell does the toddler able to open the door?
Yeah, they may have just left the door open. It's in Missouri. Could have been a summer, very hot. Leave the door open.
Hmm.
Toddler wanders, and boom. But yeah, it is unbelievable. But we're in the United States. For better or worse, unbelievable seems to be what happens, and it's often for the worse.
Um, People getting reported on Discord, by the way. I've seen this being the norm, sort of in Wolf's community, and honestly, just there because of how chaotic it is in his server. Personally, um, I would probably do a lot more than I do if I knew Wolf was okay with it, as far as bans and everything, because this reporting thing is insane. There's a reason I also watch what I say on Discord and watch what I say in general, because I've had made mistakes in the past about what I've said, and it haunts me. And it's not anything bad, really. It's
Yeah, this
not like go off yourself or anything. I've never really said that ever. But like there's just stupid shit people do, and I've seen it, and I've said a word or two I shouldn't have at some point, but what can you do except make sure you don't do it again?
Yeah, this reporting thing, it seems like all social media, the moderation is becoming tighter, tighter, and tighter, where you can't even say the word fuck without being in trouble and leading that to someone reporting you. Wolf server, I said it's a honeypot for reporting because it seems like people, the moment you argue with them or they dislike you, they would take any edgy thing you have ever said and report it. So, for example, my account got reported twice after I argued with a certain user. I won't have drama and say their name. I argued with a user. I went pretty hard on them. I wasn't nice. It wasn't nice what I said. I technically did break the terms of service. You're not supposed to throw the insults I said at that person, but they insulted me back too. But I was the one who got suspended and they didn't. So it was clear to me that individual or a friend of theirs reported me And it seems like it's just the de facto strategy in Wolf server. Someone is mean to you, you report them so they're inconvenienced for a day or two. But what I don't get is reporting doesn't stop anyone. Guess what? You report me, I have my alt and I'll be on 10 seconds later. And we see this. There are some common suspects who get in arguments and then the people they argue with report them and then they just make a new account and they're back within 5 minutes. So I don't really get the point of reporting on Discord since it does nothing. It just slows someone down for 5 minutes. You go get your refill your glass of water, and boom, they're back with an alternative account.
If it wasn't a problem for like if this wasn't just the norm, if someone reports you and you're immediately like banned or something, um, then I think it would be more of a deterrent because people wouldn't be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna make another account because I got banned for a stupid, shitty reason. Uh, and it's just that's the norm. Like, if you're doing age verification for social media too, I don't know how easy it is to do, but you can just make a fake name or something, or use your parents, or I still don't think that's gonna solve anything. Having ID be a way to make sure people don't make alts. And I'm not even in favor of the whole ID thing for social media and internet in general.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I heard an argument on why this age verification fails. So I'll just start off with a brief side argument. This means nothing. It's just funny and interesting. As you kind of said, this so verification isn't a perfect process. For example, people use one of the popes have their ID publicly online, and they just submit the ID of the pope before Pope Francis. It's pretty funny and absurd that you could just use someone else's ID and there's dummy IDs online, as you said. But here's the argument this person made: if age verification and ID, online ID becomes a thing, what's to stop that Sam Altman, Elon Musk, and these other people are a part of it? I know what they say is already publicly, but let's say that it becomes so easy you could trace someone's ID to their actual government. You find their online account, I mean, to their address. You find their online account, you find their ID, then you find their address. What's to say with certain elites or certain CEOs, they are exempt from that. And then all of a sudden they have an angry group of people who hate them for what they're doing and could potentially track them down or have an easier way to find out who their family are or close confidants and friends are and track them down and harass them. That's an argument someone made why online ID will fail in the long run. Of course, they could maybe exempt all themselves from it. We could see then that argument means nothing. But that was an interesting thought that someone brought, a YouTuber I like to watch.
Well, on that, actually, if you exempt them from it, that somewhat makes it a little harder. But if you're determined, you can, because you can just like look up. Here's an address. Here's an address. Here's an address. Here's an address. You do all this, and if you generally even know where they live, should I even be saying this actually? Like, is this allowed?
Well, I don't think you should call for violence.
Oh
You
no,
could
I'm
just
not
say
asking
something
for. I'm
like,
not calling
"Oh
for
yeah,
violence. I'm just saying like theoretically.
in theory, I mean, you could talk about outcomes that could happen or bring up examples that have happened and say could happen again.
Oh,
Like, I wouldn't say someone should do something like be a Luigi magic, pull a Luigi to that healthcare CEO,
Yeah,
but due to actions, another Luigi might happen.
yeah.
That would be my way of phrasing something in a safe way that's not Fetty.
Uh,
That'll get the glowies on you.
so yeah, so like that, yeah. Like from that, you could have another Luigi who notices this person has one, this person has one, this person has one. This is a house that doesn't. And you could go to the house and say, "Oh, look, someone lives here." Then you know that's someone who's hiding from it. In some sense, it actually identifies right where someone lives. And that would make it easy for a Luigi to go do that again.
Yeah, that's a real possibility. So that was a very interesting argument on why, even if they do government ID online verification, that could fail in the long run. I don't know if I'm one of those people who think that Gen Z is going to create an army of Luigis. I hear people argue that. I personally don't see it, but you don't need an army of Luigis to make change. For example, I need to look at the numbers again, but United Healthcare, the CEO that Luigi tracked down in New York. Once that event happened, their claim approval went up because they were clearly fearful that another person would become a martyr and do the same thing to their next CEO. So maybe you don't need 100 Luigis. Maybe you only need 10. Who knows? Who knows what could bring about change in the right direction? But when I see people say Gen Z is going to bring a communist revolution, I don't see that happening.
I sort of laugh at that, honestly. Though, there's something a while back. What was it?
Yeah, it's been a good stream so far.
Yeah,
I felt like we both had good discussions. I don't know if you're tapped out. Have like a popcorn stream. Just get what say what we need to say, make it interesting. Don't drag it on.
mm,
But I felt I was half decent.
yeah. I feel like I could go like
Better
a
than
little
it.
longer. Like,
Yeah,
don't want to make this all day, but it's like this is good. Like, I
no
like the
worries.
direction it's heading. I
I'm
would.
gonna take a pause real quick
All
and
right,
refill my water bottle, so
all
that'll
right,
just give you time to think of other stuff to talk about.
all right,
Just give me like a minute or two.
all right. Chat. If anyone has ideas, start putting them down. I'm reading. There's 7 people here, no ideas. Come on, guys. No one? Anyone? No? Eh, so be it. AI flock cameras, alright. AI flock cameras is on the list. Not seen one from anyone else yet. Oh, the request servers are back up now. Oh, fuck.
Okay, I'm back.
I was just reading my Discord DMs, and I'm gonna need to talk to Wolf at some point. DMs just filled up on, I'm just gonna do this now instead of wait
you're
for later.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get it out of the way now while we're in this
yeah.
intermission real quick.
Oh my god. Alright, that's done. I got one person out of the way, and that one person's the one that's the most troublesome. Alright, back to this now. Chris mentioned AI flock cameras. Um, your opinion on those?
Yeah, this is an interesting thing since a lot of Gen Z and young people push back against these flock cameras, which is good. I do think it'll be futile, but it's interesting to see the US government is now outsourcing technology. So, for example, for military technology and software, they outsource to Palantir. And now at the city level, for city governments and police departments, they're outsourcing surveillance with these flock cameras. To kind of tell a story about this, one of the heads of Flock AI is this guy called Mark Andreessen. He's like a boogeyman because he supports Israel, and secondly, he's also connected with Palantir and the PayPal mafia. He was part of PayPal. He helped build up Palantir, and now his new company Flock is selling itself as using AI to stop crime. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast yapping about, oh, the Flock cameras are so good. Every time we're in a city, people tell me how much safer it is and how nice things are for me. So yeah, nice things are for them. Oh yeah, look, there used to be it used to take 40 minutes to stop a criminal, and now with Flock AI, it's only 15 minutes. He was starting to sell all these things. I personally don't think this Flock AI is going to do anything but antagonize the working class and the normie. It's not going to stop crime. If you look up the most cities with the most cameras and surveillance in the United States, it's all the cities with the highest crime areas. Atlanta, Georgia, is the city with the most cameras in the United States per square mile. The worst parts of LA, the Garfield Park, Chicago, the worst parts of New York. They are all heavily surveyed with flock camera, but crime rates aren't going down. Where I see this going is this is another tool to threaten the wagey. Hey, we have cameras. If we see that you're following the CEO, all of a sudden police are going to respond fast then. They're not going to respond fast when someone's mugging a grandma or or hurting some random person or there's a team takeover or street takeover. They're not going to respond fast, but they are going to respond fast if they see a guy with a hoodie following the CEO of the healthcare company. And then secondly, I just think it's more disrespect for us. So that it's just going to be used to antagonize us where Oh, you're on Main Street going 10 miles per hour over the speed limit. Boom, here's a speeding ticket. We're just going to mail you a speeding ticket. Oh, your insurance is going to go up the next time you have to pay for your premium. It's just going to be used as a tool to antagonize us, and it's not going to make the streets any safer.
Yeah, for sure. There was one thing I did think about for this. I don't know how AI flock cameras work. But generally I think that it's like if someone goes over the speed limit, it snaps a picture or something like that. So I'm not entirely sure on the whole surveillance part of it, but I think catching people who are speeding is something that needs to happen more. Speeding or hitting people with a car. The fucking person who did is never gonna find this video though. But simple stuff like that. I do you know how the AI flock cameras work at all, or
I mean, I haven't looked into it. I know how facial detection and object detection works. I could briefly describe that. I'm sure it's more sophisticated. My high level knowledge is this. I would try to keep it brief because I could talk about the partial derivatives, the calculus, and linear algebra to translate something from 3D space into 2D reasoning, and then using a softmax neural network, blah, blah, blah. I won't do that. So I'll keep this brief. Flock cameras work directly with the police department. So from what I understand is the AI within the flock camera will detect the car, the license plate, and a brief overview of the person. It'll be like young black man driving 2008 Honda Civic with blah 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 license plate, and it will build a record and a history set to give to the police department. So whenever they see a 2008 Honda Civic with blah 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 license plate, they expect the driver to be a young black man or perhaps someone who looks like it. So let's say one day for whatever reason they see a hooded white man driving this car, then the AI would let the police department something is strange. This car may have been stolen. It's ours belonged to this black guy, but now we see a masked white guy driving it. So the whole point is it uses AI to detect people, detect cars, and connect them together and give it to the police so they have a general idea of what certain people are doing and where they're at. So that's the main purpose and main use of Flock AI. For example, a police officer stalked a woman because the Flock AI built this woman would walk to work and would walk to the store. So the camera just caught on this woman, Caucasian, looks to be about this feet tall, blonde hair, blah blah blah. She go walks on Main Street to Publix at 1 p.m. every Saturday. This is me making it up, but this is how it would work. So now the police officer just ended up stalking that woman, and Chris mentioned flock AI cameras accusing people, which is very likely. It's common where, let's say, a burglary or a murder happened at 1 p.m. on Main Street, and for whatever reason you're on Main Street and the police database says we had a call for murder and you're near Main Street, Flock AI will say you're the murderer, and you're going, and then boom, you get arrested and harassed by the police and you get falsely accused for a crime. That was just building off what Chris just said, but that's like a brief elementary way to explain what a flock AI camera does and how it works with the police department, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That reminds me of something here. John Oliver did one on police body cams. That there's a lot of like footage from the body cams that never even get looked at because of there's too much that comes out, and that it would take a huge dedicated team of people uh, watching it 24/7 to be able to even catch up with it. And that some police departments have used that to say that they can't get any video footage for so and so because they can't find it or whatever. I think it might be on an auto delete. I'd have to watch the episode again on that. Maybe that's something I could do for next time. But at police body cams, I think they work, but they only work if you actually watch them, which I don't think, because people don't, they miss a lot. You never hear of the good thing the cop did on the news. It's always cops did this and choked someone or whatever, and unlawful or this and that. You never see any of the good that they do.
Yeah, I guess when you're used to something, whenever something goes bad, that's when it becomes newsworthy. Because whenever something works normally, that's not news. It's kind of in the name news, something new. So if something's working as normal, there's no need to report it. I'm not one of these DSA types who want to abolish the police, but there's clearly a there's clearly an incompetent factor of the police that needs to be reworked. I don't know how because I haven't looked into it, but I do see with all the money being spent on police departments, they could do their job better. And I'll have to look into how they could do it better, but I'm not one of these people who wants no police. I think that's a stupid thing, being an anarchist and
Yeah.
oh, no police. We could just trust each other to be good human beings. I just think that police departments are often overfund or not overfunded, but not using the funds in the best possible way and wasting the time of officers where they seem more concerned at times harassing someone for slightly doing a rolling stop instead of policing a high crime area.
I mean, maybe it'd work in like somewhere like Switzerland or Norway or Denmark, where it's a high trust society. Police may just not be needed in theory, but they should still be used. Um, which I'd like to see something like that. I'd like to see like a good high trust society that relies on their citizens rather than a police force. It may not ever happen, but it'd be something pretty cool to see.
Yeah, no, that would be cool.
Did we
Do you have
touch,
any?
going back to geopolitics here, did we touch on the Ukraine war or no?
Not much, and if I'm being honest, it's not something I kept up with the most. I guess I was very disconnected with politics when it first started, so I don't know much about the Ukraine war, and I felt that in recent years, the Middle East has been more impactful for my daily life compared to the Ukraine war, and even more egregious than the Ukraine war, at least when it comes to involving the United States.
Um,
I think authoritarian might be someone to have on to talk about it. At least better than me.
is
Way
he
better than me.
is he on right now out of curiosity?
I think he has a night. He calls it a night schedule where he sleeps all day and then wakes up at like 9 p.m. his time and stays up all night.
I'll send him an invite anyways, see if he comes on for that. But one thing I've heard is that because of the uh, technological um, advancements that Ukraine is trying to make to win the war, that the state of drones and uh, weaponry is becoming more advanced for everyone except Russia because they aren't being used. And obviously, I'd say pretty much any of America's enemies, maybe exception is China. Uh, and I found that interesting that even in the way how long the wars went on, that they found a way to innovate no matter what to keep up ahead and still gain some ground in it. The Ukraine some
Yeah, no,
the Ukraine war was something that it I heard about the second it happened because I used to watch CNN like a lot in the background when I was working at Amazon. And I remember there's a few other things I saw the second they happened, but that was one that I was very focused on because I believe that simply Ukraine is fighting based on whatever conservatives in America want to say for some reason or other. Ukraine is fighting for their independence, so it'd be more American to support someone fighting for their independence. Yet Republicans want to say, "Oh, we shouldn't give money or weapons to them," when it contradicts the Republicans' most heavy beliefs on freedom and democracy.
oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, Republicans say they believe that, but they just care about getting money for donors, and that's about it. And pretending to make hillbilly hicks happy while screwing them over. Yeah, from my reason is I honestly, at least my perspective, I need to look into this more. Most of the war Republicans were essentially using the war in Ukraine to antagonize Biden. I don't think they're against it. As you can see now, Republicans aren't really against it. They're just quiet about the war. They just wanted a way to antagonize Biden so they could help Trump win. So slowing down the war and making the Biden admin look like they're wasting money and not properly wasting money on Ukraine, making that optics how it appears to the public so Trump could come in and look like the hero. And I do believe Trump thought he was going to be a hero and make both sides agree right away, and many Republicans thought that too. So I think they basically wanted to have Russia be happy, so Russia was more likely to cave into Trump, and that clearly backfired. So look at their strategy and how it screwed them over.
Oh my God, you just reminded me of that. That was a horrible day. I was watching it at the time too, so I tuned in to see Trump yelling like a lunatic at Zelensky. That was disgraceful. Like
I found that funny at this point. I'm just
a
because
little
it's
bit now, it's sort of
expected.
funny, but it was
Yeah, no, I know what you
disgraceful.
mean. You're gambling with World War III. I said you're gambling with World War III. And then when JD Vance said Zelensky out by saying, "Oh, you've been with the president this long and you're yet to say thank you."
Yeah,
He winded him up. It was perfect for all the wrong reasons. I'm not saying it's a good thing that happened, but since I'm just a bit twisted, it's hilarious.
the hilarious thing is what he said. You haven't even said thanks. Who says thanks to politicians, especially ones that aren't really listening to them? Like, oh, thanks, you just helped me with this. You don't say thanks when they're not doing what you want. And if that. So I find that hilarious.
Yeah, what's ironic is I think weeks later Trump tried to get a minerals deal with Ukraine and then committed to sending more weapons to Ukraine. So it was clearly just public optics, most likely to try to make Putin and the Russian government happy by showing that he's willing to push back to Zelensky to his face, and it failed. Trump tries. Trump has a middle school mentality when it comes to politics, where he tries to play a big man in front of the news camera, and then hopes he could appease people behind the scenes. And more often than not, it ends up blowing up in his face later on,
For sure.
such as everything with Iran, where he would be talking with Iran and trying to set up a peace deal to open up the strait, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, he's on Truth social media talking about how he's going to genocide them and so on. So he appears to be a tough guy for his ego's sake. And then Iran's like, wait a minute, you just told us you're going to genocide us. Peace is off. No more. We're shutting off the strait yet again. Have fun dealing with high gas prices. Yeah, it's just very middle school like Trump's approach to foreign affairs or even any affairs. Um, just immature.
High school never ends.
Oh, yeah, that song, Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
I saw them live at the Warp Tour. That was fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to one of the Warp Tours and I saw a lot of those. I saw a fair bit of those like old school emo pop punk bands. Like, who did I see? Mayday Parade, All Time Low, Bowling for Soup, Sublime. Not
Oh,
clearly not
Sublime.
OG Sublime, but with
Ah,
with the Sun.
ah,
With why isn't I forgetting the singer's name? With his son Jacob.
ah.
Who else did I see? Um, who else? So Avril Lavigne. Uh,
Mm.
I for a moment I saw Machine Gun Kelly, but then
Oh.
I just walked off. I'm like, yeah, this guy's lame. Who else? Dropkick Murphys. I already said Mayday Parade and All Time Low. A couple more smaller bands, but I don't want to get into those. But
Ah.
yeah, I went to a festival, the Warp Tour, which is like the emo pop punk festival, and it was fun. I spent a weekend in Washington D.C. Got to see the White House in person and take pictures at the Capitol.
Pretty cool. The only time I ever went to a concert, I went to the Chainsmokers concert, I believe twice actually. For I think it was their Memories Do Not Open album. Great album, by the way, I love it. And it was World War Joy, that album. Uh, World War Joy is actually a pretty okay album. I do want to see Fall Out Boy in concert one day.
Yeah, it might be better just to go to a festival. I don't think Fall Out Boy really tours, but they do a lot of festivals. So, and they're always a headliner.
Mm. Oh, and I go
Yeah,
to
I've.
this.
Oh, did you go?
Uh, I also go to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra almost every year. It's been sort of me and my mom's Christmas tradition for last 2 or 3 years.
Nice. I go to concerts quite a bit, mainly for emo or pop punk adjacent bands. Like I've seen Jimmy Eats World Alive, A Day to Remember, This Story So Far. Who else I've seen live that fall? 4 Years Strong, Belmont, The Wonder Years. So many of these like 2010s pop punk and emo bands I've seen live. Cartel is another pop punk like mall emo band I've seen live. I've been to small emo shows or pop or like punk shows like Belmont where people were fighting. That was kind of fun to see. Uh, what's another tiny thing? I've seen a hardcore band paint a truth and then people fighting in the pit. Neck Deep, another pop punk band I've seen live. I've seen quite a bit. I think the story so far might be my favorite, but then again, I've seen them in different states. I re- oh, Get Up Kids, another emo band I saw live. But I remember my first concert. I went alone. I went to New York, and if you look at this up, the Brooklyn Paramount, it's like this beautiful 100-year-old theater that is now a concert venue, and it was super nice. And it's like I was blown away, and I was spending times just looking around at the stage and just seeing up my favorite pop punk band play in there and just spending a day in New York City and Brooklyn. Like it was just a very cool experience. I'm just going to DM you a picture of
Ah.
how the venue looks like.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Um,
Yeah, and it's right in the heart of Brooklyn. So just imagine me, I'm listening to my favorite band, and I'm just looking up at the ceiling, like, wow, this is amazing. And boom, just some small, old, rundown building in the heart of Brooklyn, New York. Very cool. That was probably just one of my highlights of grad school when I took a day trip to New York City by myself.
I'm showing the picture on the stream now. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was at a sold out show too. And everyone knew the band. It was so bad at times. I had earplugs in. I couldn't hear the band over the singing of the crowd just because how invested everyone was.
Wow.
And then everyone around me was smoking weed. Just everyone just snuck in weed and was just smoking it. It was just a good time and being in a venue that pretty, but I need to shut up because Wolf is here.
Oh,
Good man.
Wolf! Welcome!
Yo, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
You sound great to me.
Okay, that's cool. I went on my wolf walk today. I went on my wolf hiking walk today. I walked all around the town. I walked around the park. And then I went and spent like $200 on like groceries. And now I just walked home with all those groceries, luggages. I actually got a haircut, but I didn't really cut my hair any shorter than like an inch and a half, so like I still have long hair. It's just shoulder length now, and it's kind of like everything's kind of even leveled. And get this, I got a head massage, a head
Massage.
massage from a big titty goth girl for like 30
Whoa.
minutes. I got an erection, or like my pecker was definitely wagging its tail like a
Right.
dog.
Uh,
It wasn't like on stand alert, but it was, I felt something. I felt something, and it's just like I enjoyed that moment, of a big titty goth girl giving my skull a massage, and I was just like, it felt good. I spent 25 bucks on that haircut, and then I ended up going and getting myself some absolute horrific goy slop. Like, just pizza and donuts and shit. And I smoked a little bit, I smoked a lot of weed, and the edibles hit hard, so I went down and I got myself goy slop. Then I got a haircut after that, but then I purchased some necessities, vitamins, um, deodorant, toothpaste, multivitamins, omega-3 vitamins. What is that? Something about metabolism. Serotonin, I guess, enhancing. What is that shit? Melatonin? I don't
Oh
know what
yeah,
it
that's
is.
melatonin is supposed to help you sleep. I would recommend taking small doses, though. I don't know how much milligrams one of your melatonin pills or dissolvables are, but I would only eat half of it just so you don't and wake up the next day tired. I find if like I eat 10 milligrams of melatonin, I want to stay in bed and sleep for 12 hours and I can't get myself up to go to school or work. So be careful with melatonin.
I used to use like melatonin to help me sleep, but after some time, like it doesn't work as well. So, but I haven't had that in years, honestly. Um,
But yeah, enough about that boring melatonin talk. That it sounds like you had quite a wolf Sunday, your day before work. You got a lot done. How are you feeling after the haircut and how anything else you share about the massage? Was it your first time getting it? Did you just have a headache or a lot of stress and just felt that you needed it? It sounds like a good day for you at least. I hope
Well,
so.
she just go ahead and did it, and
wow.
I was like, I smiled the whole time.
Nice. I never got a massage though. I mean, I could tell you a time where I felt happy about a touch of a woman. That was a very interesting time. It could be a funny story I could tell real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so in high school, do you guys know the shows where someone pretends to be a hypnotist and they pretend to hypnotize people and make them do silly
Oh,
things on stage?
yes. I think I know where this is
I
going.
volunteered for one of those events, and it was a group. She picked the hypnotist, the woman purposely picked out three men and three women and paired them up. So I was senior year of high school, and this girl looked to be around my age, another 17, 16-year old, basically another senior, junior in high school like me. Um, and then um uh, f- the hypnotist went to us and had told me that I'm asleep. She snapped her finger in my face and told me I'm asleep. And of course, it's like peer pressure. You're not like, of course, she warned us that she won't force us to do anything we don't want to do, but we're expected to participate. And that's the whole point. It's peer pressure. If she tells you to walk on your knees and bark like a dog, you don't have to do it. You could fight against it. One of the guys got kicked off the stage because he was refusing to pretend to be a dog, and he got kicked off. But the person snapped their finger and told me I fell asleep. And then my partner, she went up to the girl and said, pretend that the sleeping boy is your crush. And she said Zac Efron. So then she just jumped on my lap and started massaging my inner thigh and then just leaning her head on me. This girl I don't know, and she was just told, pretend I'm Zac Efron and I'm sleeping. And then she was just nuzzling me while massaging my inner thigh. And I was smart to cross my legs. I'll put it that way. I enjoyed that touch. That's like the only time a girl has really ever I've been even I would even say intimate, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
getting that loving touch. And I was asleep, but I was still aware of what was going on. The hypnotist snapped her fingers, so I was dead. And then she saw me as her celebrity crush. And yeah, I think she also kissed me on the cheek,
Oh.
also. It was a very interesting thing. And then my brother took pictures of it and made fun of me and like, oh, you got your first girlfriend. And they
What
also recorded. Oh, yeah, go on.
what she looked like? What race was she?
Another Mexican like me. She was like a short stack. She was shorter than me. Her fat was in the nice places. A fat waist, a little short stack Mexican. She was a pretty girl. I probably should have attempted to talk with her afterwards and maybe see, since we did the most awkward thing we could do, maybe get her number. I
Yeah.
probably could have maybe attempted that. I just walked off embarrassed and went to my brother and he made fun of me. And he has a video of me rapping. They told us a rap an imaginary language. I was like, ha blah 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 in front of a meet while a beat played and just rapping in imaginary language in front of people with a mic. But yeah, the girl was a cute girl. She was cute. Short, short stack girl, fat in the right places.
Mm.
So it felt nice when she was sitting on my lap. Wow, that was an embarrassing but fun story to tell.
Yeah. Do the hypnotist stuff work? Like, did it actually work, or was it all you doing it? I've always been curious about that.
I would say I was aware, but I didn't want to be a jackass. It was peer pressure. You ruined the show. If she snaps her fingers and tells you to bark like a dog and you don't do it, you ruin the show. And one of the guys did it and he was laughing in her face, the hypnotist, and he got kicked off.
Oh,
So I guess I find it as more like a peer pressure thing. If you want to conform and do it for the sake of the show, you do what she says, the hypnotist. And I pretended to be asleep, and the partner, the girl, pretended I was Zac Efron and kissed me on the cheek and held my hand, massaged it, and massaged my thigh while sitting on my lap. So I know now to bring everything together, I know what you feel, Wolf, when you have a decently attractive girl touching you. It's just one of those things that relaxes a man. It just really relaxes you and
I
makes
felt good that a woman touched me today. That's all. And I don't feel good that I spent $200 shopping today, but I had to buy necessities. And I got a bunch of multivitamins, and that's about it. I probably should have laid off the junk food, but I got myself some lamb chops as well, so it's all good.
yeah, it balances out. Everything in moderation is the best way to approach it. We all pig out time to time.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like the fact that I got myself 4 slices of pizza and 2 donuts. I
That's a
feel
bit
absolutely,
heavy.
yeah. But I walked around a lot, so I feel good though. I was like madly just in a good mood. I think it was all the, you know, edibles I've been taking and just whatever.
I do
Maybe
Yeah,
enjoy.
if
it's
it ma-
the CBD as well.
I will say,
What's up?
oh,
uh, I do enjoy that every time I go to physical therapy, I always get a leg massage after, and like I don't care who does it, it's just so relaxing. Like I think I almost fell asleep once.
You don't care who does it, so
Yeah,
if
it's
it's like
it's
a dude or a guy.
it's a massage. Like and it's not like an intimate massage, it's just a leg. So
Oh, it's not an
yeah,
intimate
yeah,
massage. Okay, I thought you were going to get
yeah,
your pecker pulled. Sorry.
yeah.
going for the happy ending at the Chinese
I
massage
kind of
place.
got confused of what you
Yeah,
guys were talking
yeah,
about, and I was
yeah.
just like, oh, okay.
Uh,
You're all good.
yeah.
Do you think you're going? Well, you already said so, but are you going to stream Cyberpunk today, Wolf, or just?
Uh, if you guys want me, I'll do it.
I
Mm, I'd rather have you do what you want to do. I gave my opinion last night where I feel that you should do the first part of Cyberpunk alone so you could focus on the game and enjoy it. And then once you're in the open world, you could bring on other guests and stream it and talk so you're not as focused on the game or the chat isn't distracting you. And I feel like that would be a better stream overall.
yeah.
Just my opinion. You should do what you
Okay.
want, whatever you want to do. But that was
I agree with you right there. It's just, I thought like people came on and I just felt obligated to have them talk and all that. But for the rest of the stream, I'll see what happens. But it's hard to because I always do this managing of like talking to people and streaming at the same time, figuring I'm gonna have some wonderful conversation, but a lot of it's just some weirdo coming on and babbling about bullshit that doesn't matter, and just kind of like he hijacks my stream for about 2 to 3 hours, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just Night Monkey. I'm talking about MGTOW Cowboy. Hollow Gonzalo used to do it. I don't mind when Dags or Collective Dismal does it because I'm actually entertained by them and they have really interesting things to say. I also don't mind when Celtic Cat has done it, even though he's kind of distanced himself from me. I really don't care either way. A lot of people, I have a lot of guests over, that like to rant on about things. Sometimes I create too much dead air time. And also, I was kind of baked. I'm probably going to be wait until I'm going to sober up a little bit before I start the stream and do the stream nice and healthy, nice and sober. Give myself a little snack, that sort of thing.
I think I might. I'm probably gonna stream some Resident Evil Village later today, just cause I trying to get through it. Like not get through it because I want to get done, but like enjoy it. And I think I'm very close to done, honestly. Like I put maybe I'm gonna estimate maybe like 4 or 5-ish hours in, and I think I'll have it done. And damn it, it's been so long. I don't really have anything like on definitely on the list to play next. I think I was gonna do Final Fantasy 2, but at the same time, I think I was like I'd have to look through my games, but I did get some games on Xbox when I was on sale. I got Saints Row 3. That was, and I'm looking forward to that one. Like I watched 6 play Saints Row, and that was the most the most laughs I've had in a game in a long time.
Yeah, the Saints Row games are fun, especially two. That I think that was the highlight. The first two games were great. Are you still live? Oh, sorry, I was looking at
Yeah.
something else. But yeah, the first two games were great. Yeah, if I could kind of just circle back to what Wolf said. Yeah, no, I agree. Yesterday I felt like Wolf, you did a better job at asserting yourself and keeping it your stream, which I respected and I enjoyed as a viewer. Um, I like the way your streams are, but as you said, sometimes other people take over, and you gave plenty of examples, and you said the ones that do take over and it's good, it's almost always going to be a good content creator like Dags or Dismal, and which is why I try to be more respectful and quiet on on your stream, since I'm not a content creator and people don't go to hear disgraced liberal talk. They go for Wolf and his main friends and Thomas White and the other people who are very good. If I can make it a little better, I'll try to, but I like your perspective, Wolf, and I like that you're doubling down on it.
Yeah, for sure. I do like that you've been a little more strict with like people talking over you and like the bullshit that happens in general.
Thank you, man.
I agree.
I don't
I'll
really
try.
know what to say. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes people, I get, short-tempered with people who tend to like, I'm trying to get a word to say something and people just talk over me too much. It's just kind of annoying. And especially when they say the same thing over and over and over again. But sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit too hard on people, like I need to let them kind of say their piece, even
Yeah.
though I might disagree with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a fine line between letting people share new ideas and be entertaining, and then having the same person talk about Reddit over and over again. There's a fine line, and sometimes people don't know what that line is, and then it ruins the quality of this stream. I don't know how to enforce it. I'm not that much of an assertive person, and I'm not a content creator, so I can't tell you what that fine line for you, Wolf, is, or how to enforce it. But I could just give different opinions and things that I've noticed from the past that could maybe help you.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm just, yeah, that's definitely it. I definitely try to take people's advice now, that I'm starting to get more popular.
Don't lose yourself to popularity, Wolf. Always be
I
you.
I
don't
don't
think I'm
think
that
you would.
popular though. I mean, I'm just some guy who's a lot of people find interesting. Am I like a lol cow? Is that what I'm at?
I
Lol
would
cow
say
status?
not. No, not even close. I might say someone like Hollow would be closer to being treated as a low cow by certain people, or like some of you are harassed. I wouldn't say Cowboy is, but he's closer to being one. Like some of you artists just wander around to joke at and laugh at and make fun of. You're nowhere near that. At least from what
Mm.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't know what level I would be put on in terms of infamous. I don't know. I'm just some guy who likes to play it stream and talk about bullshit. And
Yeah.
people follow me, and people find that very entertaining, especially with the problems I have and the way I think, what my beliefs are. But those are constantly evolving, and I give my opinion, and it changes over time.
Yeah.
I'm always changing my mind because I'm trying to open up my mind to what I can gain from this world.
It's good to
It's
be.
hard.
Yeah, it's good to change your mind. It's at times, sometimes changing your mind's good. It's always great to be open to new ideas. I feel like more people need to be like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, you occupy an important space, which is why you have a pretty loyal group of people within your circle, and you attract people who don't want to go away, even if some people think they should, just because you you fill in a niche that isn't being filled in, and you do a good job at it, even if it's a very small niche. It's just I understand how the confusion at times running a server and the people you attract to that server, the conflicting personalities, and finding the best balance between ruling over it and letting people speak and letting people be themselves. When very often people in this space are very weird and just when
Yeah.
they are themselves, it's not or it's going to be a good outcome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like there's some people
I
who
had some. Yeah. Go on, Brent.
there are some people in your server who just like cause trouble and look for it. And
And
personally,
you and me are gonna have a one-on-one on who should I get rid of.
all right, all right.
All right. So I'm trying to clean up my server.
Oh, Hollow mentioned something. Yeah, tell MGTOW the word Retta is mentioned, and he has to go and wait to come back again next time. That is a good one.
Lol.
Yeah,
I should do that. I should do that. That would be funny.
I mean
Maybe I should do that.
it would also
Uh,
have it stop being repetitive of like the Retta and I like the only thing I actually have a problem with him is like the Retta stuff. I listen to like the try to work hard like in trades and stuff because like it's not a good idea to like give someone like advice for jobs like that. But the constant Retta thing is my god. Almost sounds like one of those commercials sometimes.
Yeah, it's a running gag at this point. I mean, kudos to you, Wolf, because if I'm honest, I don't have it in me to be a content creator the way you are, at least, and to run the space you are. I would probably freak out if I had to manage a Discord and be the complete authority over it. I would freak out and probably just delete the Discord and delete my channel. You handle it well. You handle this difficult problem as well as anyone could. Of course, there's something better anyone could do, but the fact that you're handling it is a very respectable thing, and it's why you're respected by quite a bit, even if it's a small, loyal, fearsome group. You do have respect in these spaces.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll let Brent be the fellow voice cell streamer. I don't think the world needs another voice cell like me, a nerdy voice cell streaming. I'll just try to be a good guest from time to time.
It'd be pretty cool if you did your own though, like
I don't
I
have
want.
it in me. I'm too old. I don't have it
How
in
old are
me.
you? How old are you?
24.
You're not that old. You're not that old.
I'm too
I hang
old.
around with a lot older
I'm
people all
too
the time.
tired.
Oh, you get too
No, I'm
tired.
joking around. I just don't care for it, at least myself. I don't care about setting a consistent message, at least yet. And then I don't want it to escalate where I start a Discord and then boom, certain people join and then now they're arguing and they're one's telling me to ban another. I just don't care for that. I don't have it in me to do it yet. And I don't think I would shine as a streamer. I would do better if I wrote a script and had a 10-minute talk about a certain topic where I'm organized and I could really dig into something with research and a script and just tell the truth about the world or a truth that people misunderstand.
Sort of like John
That
Oliver
would be
does,
where I'm stronger.
right?
Yeah, I don't know him, but I'm just going to assume what you're right about him.
He
A
does like.
comedian
Oh,
who does that. Yeah, kind of. I would never show my face. I would say who's someone who isn't popular. Almost like a Martin Goldberg. I think he does something similar, but I would be more refined. Do you know who Martin Goldberg is, Wolf? I've seen him
Are you talking
talked
about the
about.
YouTuber?
Yeah.
Yes, I know who he is.
Yeah, I think his sort of content I would do better at. I don't agree with him on quite a bit of things. He just seems like it's hard to even describe him at this point. But I know I don't agree with him, but he just seems to point out problems and just it's weird, and complain about Gen Z.
ugh.
Martin Goldberg is an interesting person.
I don't think complaining about people is necessarily like anything productive or anything that anyone needs to watch. Share whatever you can for whatever reason, but like complaining just about stuff, I don't see it as like something worth watching. Critiquing, however, is.
Yeah, there's a fine line from it, and if I had to do content, I would want to do critiques and point out the flaws, why they're flaws, and how they directly impact someone like us instead of just saying, "Oh, the Jews are bad and black people are bad and they're ruining my life." I would rather just talk about how a system works and how it makes life harder for us and show exactly why rather than just saying the Jews, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. I
Since
understand. I'm not a fan of Israel at all or how certain Jewish Americans run and undermine everyone else for their long-term goals, but just saying, "Oh yeah, the Jews. Oh yeah, YouTube, the Jews. Oh blah blah blah." I just don't think
immigrants,
that's
whatever.
intelligent.
Yeah.
The demon rats.
the lizard people. Oh, go back 10 years ago. The lizard people. Oh, and them dang lizards. Obama and them lizards. They're freaking Obama and the lizards.
Yeah,
They want to take away. They want to take our guns. They want
did
to
you
take our guns.
have you
The
seen
liberals.
Inside Job on Netflix?
No, I don't watch anything on Netflix.
Uh,
Isn't it good?
it, it,
Maybe I might put
it
it
it's
on my.
it's pretty good, yes, and I think it pokes fun at some of that stuff too, like with lizards and like CIA and stuff. It pokes fun because honestly, that stuff is sort of insane to me. I can agree that some certain people in the world are causing trouble right now, certain groups, etc. Russia, Israel to an extent, although the war is justified, it was at the beginning. I don't think it is now, to any extent. Um, but yeah, there's definitely certain people causing trouble in the world, but you can't agree, you can't just point to them and say this is all the problems. That's what's something that annoys me with immigrants are the problem, or this or that. It's exhausting.
Oh yeah, this is where Mr. Daggers, or even if I could toot my own horn, someone like me comes in, and we could talk about systemic problems, because the negative outputs, that the negative consequences we experience day to day, it comes from a function, and then it takes that input. The function took an input and it transformed it. That input could be money, people, so on. The function could be policy and long-term agendas and so on. But that's the best way to analyze the world, rather than just being like, oh, it's a lizard people, blah blah blah. People in this space would disagree with me, and perhaps even in Mr. Dagger's server, since I follow more of a Occam's razor mindset when it comes to analyzing problems in this world, where oftentimes the simplest solution is either the correct one or the closest one to the truth.
Motherfuckers. Who's a mod?
What's going on?
Who's a mod for my chat right now?
What's up?
My thing is, who's the mod for the chat?
What's happening?
No,
I don't.
I'm. Shut up.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
someone's
this a
trying
bidding
to start
person?
drama, and I specifically have that rule of no drama because I'm tired of the shit that goes on. Now, fuck.
I'll let you
Now,
handle that real
fuck.
quick then. It's your space. You do whatever you want. Hey,
There
Peter.
it is.
Nice to see you.
How do I ban someone? There,
Thought
simple.
6 was 18.
No, it's fucking lies. Someone came on to cause bullshit. That's. Someone watched fucking this video. I don't know
I
who the
don't.
fuck came in or what fucking sphere that guy is in, but those people piss me off. They come in just to start shit, like JC. My god.
If Peter wants to come on, that'd be cool.
Alright,
I
yeah,
don't think he can.
let me try
That
to find.
Cyberpunk game I played yesterday, that was actually pretty good. I'll probably play it some more tonight. I bought myself some Goy slop, so I'm ready to go.
Let's see. I'm gonna try and I'll invite Peter. If you're vouching for him, sure. There. I'm still trying to figure out this server shit too. Did you have anything to talk about, Wolf? Like, your, uh, do you enjoy, um, Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I enjoyed Cyberpunk. It was actually quite fantastic. I think Cyberpunk was at a point trying to be the greatest game ever made, but there's debates about that, but it definitely is on the top 100 list of best games ever made in my personal opinion. It's made it to top 100. Maybe it's at the bottom of the list, but honestly, if you can mod the shit out of it, which I planned on doing if I can. Make everybody a sexy furry. That's probably, what I'm thinking about doing. But yeah, that it's a fun game to play, man. Definitely, if you have a gaming computer, can run it. Definitely worth the money. If you like, some RPGs with, just kind of like it does have kind of a zesty feel to it. There's a lot of gay pornography and gay propaganda everywhere, which is fine, I guess, because they were trying to target a specific demographic of people. That's what they thought Zoomers were about. But I think they got it all wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm an old man, so I grew up playing games like Half-Life, Quake. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. You guys play Half-Life and Quake? I bet you have. Everybody has played Half-Life and Quake.
I
I've been thinking about doing mods for Half-Life and Quake.
I believe at some point I think I saw Quake but I didn't play it. I've never really seen or played Half-Life besides what you've streamed about it, Wolf. They look like pretty interesting
Really,
games, yeah.
it is. Basically play as the protagonist, Gordon Freeman, a mad scientist who created a teleport. Well, I don't think it was a mad scientist, but he created like uh, a portal to an alien dimension. The all alien creatures became hostile toward the humans, and there were like explosions all over this nuclear research facility, I guess it was. And then the military came and killed all the scientists and killed the aliens, and you as Gordon Freeman go, crawl through ventilation shafts and hit people with crowbars and shoot things with guns. And there's these crabs that hop on you and turn you into a zombie. There's the hound dogs, look like maggots mixed with pugs genetically, and they create big sounds if they shake. And oh, you can't forget the Vortigons, those little Zapparinos, which later became the allies to the humans in the second Half-Life. The second Half-Life is so fucking good, you know. There needs to be like I can understand there should be like a Half-Life 3 built just like Cyberpunk was built. That would be pretty awesome. And then I have never played Alex. Um Alex seems kind of like, well, you have to have a VR headset, don't you? Or is it VR only?
I don't know. This is the first time I've heard Alex.
Yeah, you play as Alex, Gordon Freeman's sidekick in Half-Life 2. She's like a cute mulatto girl. I guess you guys never played Half-Life 2. You guys should definitely play Half-Life 2.
I'll definitely check it out. I'm not too keen on spending money on games unless they're on sale.
Oh yeah, I only buy games when they're at the price of a sandwich.
Um, minutes it's been going for. I think I'll just go for a few more minutes here, like round it out to like 2:40 here. Is there any other topics either of you can think of for this?
Well, inflation is one thing. I mean, I went shopping today and I spent $200. This was fucking ridiculous, but I needed to you know, reset everything. I also needed to get groceries anyway. It sucks. There's bills to be paid too.
Yeah.
Which I looked at the electric bill. It wasn't that much. Wasn't that much this time around. So I've been conserving energy, surprisingly. During winter, it goes way up. But yeah, I can't really think of anything to say, but I'm just trying to feel good that I actually got something done, even though I didn't really get anything done. But I got everything together. Rent's paid for next month. I freshened up a bit. Yeah, I would say it's an okay day. You just have to pay the price. Like you pay the price for everything. Everything costs money. What happened to Neat Loser?
Oh, do you know Wolf or? Well, I'll just summarize it because I'd rather not have any drama. I'm not gonna go into this detail. But he and JC were fighting. He said some shit. JC said some shit. End of story.
I see.
Like usual, drama in your server. Sometimes it's the usual.
Yeah. I also got myself some herbal tea as well,
Ooh, I love
so
tea. What kind?
some like vanilla chai.
Ooh. I like fruit tea.
Yeah, herbal tea's good. It kind of helps your immune system so you don't feel like shit.
Alright, well, I think it's been a good stream here. I think I'm gonna round it out here. Thanks for being on, both of you.
Thank you.
Would have been nice to see Dags on. I did send him an invite, but he has a stream tomorrow, so he's probably preparing for that or playing some games or something.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yep. Take care. Thanks for having me on. Later.
later.